huge thank you to Brie Milani, the First American Home Warranty. She is supplying all of your food that you're eating today. Thank you, Ms. Bree. They have an amazing home warranty process. I'm sure you're all familiar with the home warranties. And Bree is a type of rep that I can call at any minute, drop of a hat, ask her for something, get the tools that I need, get that brochure, find out, even though the brochures say they don't do a 3-year warranty, you'd be surprised. Bree can pull things off. So if you've got seller credits or exceeding and you need to utilize some of your money, a lot of times I will take that home warranty money and I'll add another year to suck it up. I'm not going to let the negotiations that you guys put together go to waste. So just an FYI, I believe if you don't know, they also have the rekeying in their home warranty. So some people don't know. That means your buyers can go get their house rekeyed for $85 or $95, whatever their trade fee is, versus spending a couple $100 on the warranty or on themselves. So just know you guys get up to 6 locks changed for that warranty that you're already providing right out of the gate. So don't forget about that. I'm telling you about the rekey fee with the home warranty. Oh. Our 2-year plan. Sometimes we can get a 3-year plan. So don't forget to always reach out on the warranties. Another thing I say during my signings, you guys, is if you guys, this is your 1-year warranty, make sure that you always call your agents. If you have a title, have a claim, to talk about how you want to present the claim. You know, in insurance, it's all about the way you deliver your phone call, the first phone call out of the gate. It's all about what you say, meaning it's all about what your clients say. So I always tell my clients, call your agents, get educated. Which agents, if you don't know, call your rep, call Bree, make sure that you're educated on the lingo. It's all about what you say. So Bree can walk you through that to make sure that you are handled, you know, carefully and that you're getting the best result out of whatever it is you're inquiring about.
Yeah. Do you need a job?
I know, right?
Can you talk about a few more points?
Oh, sure.
I didn't hear everything.
No, I was just telling about the warranty. We've got a 2-year, but sometimes she pulls off a 3-year for me when we want to use the seller's money.
Yeah.
Told about the rekey service. Make sure that you guys know that. Some people aren't aware of that. It's huge. And that you're always there to be able to rely upon.
Yeah, that's the biggest one for sure. So I'm Bree. I'm with First American Home Warranty. So I know we're like kind of 2 different companies, but we're not, like, we work together so much. So yes. I'm on obviously the home warranty side. So yeah, that's a great point. Rekeys are amazing. If your client goes through a rekey, sometimes other companies give out like vouchers for rekeys. We're technically not allowed to, but I'm happy to waive the service fee on a rekey if they want that, or if you want to offer that to them, no problem. And then yes, the 2 to 3 year warranties, we can absolutely do those as well. It's kind of become a big deal because the lender credit, they're like, oh, I have $800 more and I can only spend it on 2 things. Can I, get a 2 or 3 year policy? We can definitely do that. You just have to reach out to me. 2-year, you can do yourself online if you want to, but 3-year, I have to get approval. And I've never been denied on one. So I pretty much say we're good to go on those. One thing I've kind of been wanting to hit home this year because it actually happened. We used to say like, this is a possibility, but it actually happened finally, not in a good way, is when you're presenting a home warranty to your buyer or putting it on the RPA, you just put like a random number. Let's say you're just like $600, just to make it easy, right? Then Malika sends it to me. I see it says 600. I'll sometimes call and be like, hey, what do they want? Really being diligent to making sure, like, yes, the seller's paying up to 600, but there's all this you can add on. And here's why. There's a brokerage in Davis that I work with. I was kind of talking about this, and the manager raised her hand. She said, we actually had a homeowner try to sue a agent because they didn't disclose all of this. So just showing all the things that you can add on to your warranty, because nothing more you want than a happy client, right? The last thing you want is for them to make a claim, realize, oh my gosh, we don't have it's everything. Yeah, we don't have refrigerator coverage, we don't have pool coverage, whatever it may be. And then they come to you and they say, wait, well, I didn't know there was pool coverage. I didn't even know that was an option. You don't have to be the expert, but at least knowing somebody that this is my job, this is all I do. I'm the expert in this. So calling me and saying, hey, here's the address. What do you think we should get? They're including the appliances, whatever the situation is. That way you can kind of take it off your hands. And then on the back of all of our brochures, you can have them fill this out and sign it. You can do it on PDF as well. That way the liability is kind of out of your hands.
Really? Okay, at the back of the brochure.
Yeah, back of the brochure, it's on a PDF version too, so if you do everything like online, which most people do, just have them fill that out, sign, so that way the liability is kind of off you. You showed them what could be offered, I talked with them, whatever it may be, I'm happy to talk to your clients, because, and I will never upsell, it does not matter to me what if they choose a basic plan or a best plan, I get paid the exact same, so it's really, you could be putting too much money sometimes into the home warranty category, and obviously not enough sometimes. So that's really what I'm trying to hit home this year. We have so many additions, and obviously it took me a year to really understand all of our additions and what they're good for. So, you know, it's not your job to have to know all this, but definitely. So, and thank you ladies for having me. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea.
So that's what I do, because when I do, if you're ever at my signings or if you're one of my clients, you'll know that if there's a home warranty on the plate, regardless of who's paying for it, I actually put a copy to home warranty in our signing. I give them also the pamphlet at the signing. I want to make sure that so when I'm on that watch, I go over, these are your options. This is what you guys have to do. You guys have up to 30 days also to add anything at this discounted rate, because these are not the same after 30 days. Is that still the same?
Yeah, and then after 30 days, you can't add anything, because then it past that, we can kind of finagle it if it's like 40 days, not a big deal, but anything really past that, you can't add anything, because then they'll try to say like, okay, you want to add your refrigerator, then you make it plain right after, they'll be like, oh, convenient, you just added that on. But yes, 30 days.
So that makes, so that's a lot of what we go over during the signing. Yeah, Reed?
Yeah, they can. After 1 year, if they do 1 year policy, they do. They get in the mail, people will call them. They used to be like crazy and like call too much. So they kind of pump the brakes on that, and they'll get a call and an email, and it's also sent in the mail. I will say on renewal, sometimes their premiums will go up significantly. You can have them call me. We have another product that's almost identical. It's a little bit more expensive, like I'm talking $40 to $50 a year more expensive. Same coverages that and I don't get paid on it by any means, but I do kind of like to hold the hand of that mean?
No, I'm sorry.
Wow, I was like, I didn't know I had my ringer on. Kind of hold their hand through that process. So only if it's more expensive at renewal. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes they're like, they stay the same or they go up just a tad bit. If you see a substantial increase in a renewal, then you can tell me as well. That's always helpful.
And then Bree's also going to be joining us next month when we do our last class with you guys. And maybe she can go over just things that she's been recently seeing out in the field and what maybe some more recent claims have been coming up. And we can have a little bit of dialogue with that next time. So
too.
we'll have some time with her and she'll be able to kind of like spread her knowledge with that.
Yeah, that's great.
And then today we're going to be talking about Prop 19 and title. And I have Malika here to go over this with you guys today because she's just so knowledgeable when it comes to it. And a lot of people aren't aware that their clients qualify for Prop 19. And with that being said, please take it away. We like to have open dialogue. We're not people that like to stand up here and just talk. So if questions come up or comments, like we like to be interactive. So please feel free. Yeah.
So you guys, Prop 19 is a great marketing tool. And before it slips my mind, like Bree was telling you, after the year mark, Bree, this would be a good tickler or task to put on your calendar, to hit them up a month before the year, your clients. It's a way to check in with them, a way to see how they're going. Maybe they got a referral for you. I would start putting that on my calendar at 23 months to check in, and then you can see if they need a warranty. That's a great marketing tool. To go along with that, the Prop 19 is a marketing tool that I use. Here in title and escrow, it's all about, to me, the way I look at my job, it's standing out. There's so much fish in the sea. You have to stand out just like you guys do. And I got to have products. I got to have wisdom and knowledge that people don't have or they don't know and they're not aware of. So I took it upon myself to get a hold of the county when Prop 19 came out, because this is huge. What Prop 19 means in a nutshell is, the bottom line is, if you live here in California and you have a primary residence and you are at least the age of 55, or disabled, either or, you can actually move your tax base from your primary residence here, let's just say in SoCal, down to NorCal. Just my granddaughter or my grandparents are down here, I want to move closer to family. That's always the spiel, right? But people have, over the years, never wanted to make a move. because when you're on a fixed income, you have to focus on what's coming in, and there's not a whole lot coming in anymore than it used to be. So people don't feel comfortable to make a move and uproot their whole dwelling and move it to a whole other county. And with that, this is where Prop 19 comes in, because they say, hey, it doesn't have to be with cooperating counties anymore. That's how it used to be. It used to be with just specific cooperating counties would allow it. Now it's all of California. So anywhere in California, if they are 55 years of age or disabled, they can move their tax base from their primary residence to the new primary residence. It also, and you have up to 2 years to do so. So even if you're buying new construction and it's going to take, a year to get done with the building, once you sell your primary residence, you have up to 2 years to apply for the application for it to be moved over. Yes.
Is there a max price?
No. And actually, we've got in your package here today, the Prop 19. It should be the first one that you see. It's the California for transfer base year value to replacement primary residence for persons at least age 55 years. So this is the application. It's so easy, you guys. And if you work with myself or my office, we always offer to help your clients with filling this out and completing it. It takes us like 7-10 minutes, but to a client, it's a little bit foreign, and maybe to you as well, because you're not used to dealing with the county. So rely on us, when you've got that. Ask us about it. If you work with me, you'll know I'm questioning you out of the gate. I ask you, hey, what do your clients do for a living? Hey, are they selling a house to buy this house? I want to handle that right out of the gate. I want to show you that I might be a little smarter than the rest, that I'm thinking about ways to save your clients money. It's all about putting money back in their pockets when everybody pays attention to it. So the more creative you are and the things that you can bring up and bring to their attention to your peers, people talk and they will say, well, she told me about Prop 19. Did your people tell you about Prop 19? So that's the chatter, and you want them talking about it. You want them to know, to call you, that you have the resources to get this done. So what this application entails is, bottom line, is asking you, look, where's your primary residence now? When did you purchase this? Give me proof that you purchased it. And I also want the new parcel number to the new property. Show me proof that you've got it. So what we'll do on my end is I'll take copies of their driver's license. The application doesn't say that, but they need it, just so you know. That is to prove their age. So if you've got clients that are submitting it directly to the county assessor, you want to make sure that they include a copy of their driver's license to validate their age, that they fit within that guideline.
It has to be 55.
55
Of
or disabled.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. When you want it, when you're applying for it, when you're turning this bad boy in, you gotta be at least 55 years old. Yep.
Okay.
And I turn it in with my docs to the county, but I will tell a client, take your driver's license, take this paper, walk it up to 675 Texas Street, go into the second floor, pull an assessor tag, and you hand it to the assessor directly. But what the county is telling us, and if you are not aware, Solano County is literally 2 years behind right now. They're literally 2 years. Well, let me back that up. It was 21 months. 21 months. I just signed one of the assessor's personal deal. But they were inundated because they switched programs. And therefore, when this happened, it's put everything backwards. So your buyers that you're closing on with your escrows right now, if they have an impound account, great, because the lender's automatically sending those tax bills. But those clients that you have that are not on an impound account, this would be a way to reach out to them. If you close deals that are all cash and you know who those dealers are, reach out to them and tell them, look, here's the website to the county. Make sure that you log online and pay your tax bill, because the county assessor is not sending out the bills for literally 2 years. They will be sending it to the old seller at this point until they get caught up. Then they will send it to the buyer, but there's penalties that are involved, and they're collecting those penalties. However, you can ask the county to take responsibility for this, as you did, your client didn't receive it, and they will waive it, but you have to ask. Closed mouth does not get fed. So you must ask for it, but just know, all you gotta do is ask and they will waive it, because it's on them that the bills haven't been going out. So that's another way to reach out to your people. But the assessor, the reason I'm telling you that is because a lot of people want things immediate, right? Everybody wants things now. I'm one of them. I want things 5 days ago if I wanted it today. But the county is literally 2 years behind. So people will say, well, what do you mean? I got to pay taxes on this higher tax base? Yes, you do. You are here, and just because you turn in the application, this is coming from the county now, doesn't mean that it's approved. The county says, hey, Malika, you can totally do this, but tell them it's not approved until we review the application. And then we will actually reach out to them with the approval or with that, whatever our response is. So just know that with the county, they're more than happy to do it, but they're just so far behind on it. And another thing is some people believe that if I'm paying taxes at 400,000 and I'm buying the new house for $1 million, that my taxes are going to be at 400,000. That's not the way it works. There is a total math equation, kind of think about like an appraisal to it. It's not a slight, I'm going to turn over, I'm only paying at 400,000. There is a math equation to it. And so just know that. So I don't ever quote. People go, what is it going to be? They want to hear what it's going to be. I don't know. The county will let you know, but you're not going to be paying at $1 million. I do know that. You're going to be saving a lot more money, a lot of money. Yes.
And everybody gets approved?
Anybody that is, no, I can't say that everybody gets approved, but you have to be at least 55 or disabled. Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
primary residence or primary residence. It has to be your primary residence.
Yeah, okay. So is, um, so they are currently paying a $400,000 tax base.
Mhm.
The home sells for $800,000.
That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it sold for. It matters what they paid for it when they originally bought it.
$50,000 for the house, that's what the tax base is gonna be based off.
They're moving that tax base to the new house. Yes.
So you said not exactly.
But not exactly.
$1 million property, how much is not part of that tax base?
Can't tell you, so not the county. But they're gonna basically take, like if it's a $400,000, I have this all in a email I can send you guys. I will send you, if you leave me your cards, I'll send it to you, because I have the whole math equation all worked out. But it's not gonna be the 150 over to the million. It's gonna be, there's a difference in between. They're gonna take that 150,000, they're gonna look at the new tax base and minus off a bunch of it, but I'm not sure, I don't have their math down.
Malika?
Yeah, oh no, that's totally separate.
No, but they run it, they'll kind of give you an estimate.
Yes, yeah, you guys, I always say, I pick up the phone and call them directly, constantly. They know me so well, they have me do their personal deal because they know me so well. I'm calling them all the time. Because I'd rather hear it out of the horse's mouth. I don't want to hear, well, this is this. And then as well as your clients, I would tell your clients as I tell them, hey, this is my knowledge to you. Now, any other questions? Pick up the phone, email them directly. Here's their contact information.
What if you're going from $100,000 house to a $500,000 house? Like, let's say somebody bought a house, I don't know, 50 years ago.
Sure.
But taxes go up every year.
Yeah.
So they're paying, like, it's assessed at $500,000, but they're paying that lower tax bill. And then they move to a different house, maybe a different zip code,
Totally.
and want to transfer that tax bill to the same price they're paying on.
Question.
How does that?
I would have to look at that based on the assessments. So as we know, taxes used to be assessed at 1.25%. If you guys are watching now, we're really about 1.8, 2.2% on new builds. So, and a ton of assessments. You've got your 1%, then they're adding, we usually took that 0.25% for all the bonds and assessments, Melrose. Now you're seeing huge assessments out there. Therefore, if that property that you're referring to had $4,000 worth of special assessments on the new house, but the old house only had a $12 assessment, I'm going to go for it because I'm going to rather keep, I'm going to save a little bit of money in there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Oh. Question for you. Daniel was wondering, what if, you've got somebody that's selling their house and only one of them is over 55, the other one's still under 55?
That qualifies. I've been in that situation. That will qualify, as well as even I had a grandmother that was moving the kids in, but it was, it wasn't the kids' primary residence, but it was the grandmother's. Then she was going to be coming off title. They did make an exception for them on that and approved it. So I would say it's case by case, but always ask, apply it, put it in. You never know. It's better to get something out of it than nothing. So that's my knowledge on Prop 19, you guys. And what I've done for my clients is take that application, I'll pull their old property so I can complete it for them with their old parcel number. They will need a copy of their old deed with their old tax bill to fill out that application along with their driver's license. And then the new deed with the new property to show that they purchased it and closed escrow. And then the application gets turned into the county. And then you must wait. You must wait, but just know, tell your clients to be patient. They will get to it, and, feel free to call in. The county is happy to take any phone calls. But there's also,
And so they'll just.
the county will refund once they get to the assessments, and then they will prorate it accordingly based on the date that we put on here and showing them when you closed.
So when we are helping people and they really need help with their taxes, we can call the county or Captain Paul and say, help explain this.
Yeah. Get an estimate for yourself. Get an estimate for yourself, because a lot of people, it's a big move. It's a big move to especially on a fixed income retired person, to make these moves on a what if, right? So that's why I say call the county. And not only would I call you guys, I would email and I would put it in writing. The tax collector emails you back within sometimes minutes, half hour, within a day or so. They're great about returning and corresponding. So I constantly email them. I would actually want it in writing, so I had something to go off of. That's what I would do.
So what you guys see in your packet is the actual application that I pulled from the Solano County website. These are all recent as of 2024, so feel free to use them to any clients that you may have that would qualify for this, or make copies of it when you guys do plan to send it on in. And then I just wanted to make one more comment. I haven't seen any escrow officer do this except for Malika. She'll help your clients actually apply for this.
Yeah, don't
and do
expect
it.
other people to do it.
Don't expect other people to do it. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm sure you guys have worked with other title companies. This is just something that I do, that I've, been versed on, and that I feel comfortable with doing. That kind of brings me to, there's other applications. Let me talk about that first. So you'd be surprised. The county has a ton of discounts and applications that you can actually apply for. And if anybody doesn't know it, especially right out of the gate, your veterans, if you guys have veterans that are disabled, they have to be disabled 100%. They get a huge discount on their tax base. So let's just say hypothetically they're buying for $1 million. Their tax base may not be $1 million, it may be only 140,000. So they get a huge discount when they're 100% disabled. So I tell my veterans, even if they're not, sometimes they can be 40%, 50%. The disablement moves up as you get older and as things get worse. But you tell your veteran clients, this is a huge discount for you guys. And you want to tell them that out of the gate. You want them to be able to enjoy some of the savings that this government and people have put together for them. And that's a huge savings for your veterans. If you don't know, please write that down and reach out. I mean, we're right here at Travis Air Force Base, you guys. This is the mother lode. You've got all these Travis people sitting here. And a lot of them don't even know it. I signed veterans that have bought numerous houses that don't even know it, that they qualify for that. So when they come across our desk, I'm educating them. But if you're not aware, huge discount on your veterans. And the way that you'll know it, if you're not totally, some people aren't comfortable with asking personal questions, but if you're looking at their figures and you're representing a VA buyer and there is no funding fee, a funding fee is what they add on top of that loan amount to give some insurance on that loan, just like mortgage insurance. So if you guys don't see a funding fee on those figures, $7,000, $5,000, then they're disabled. That's a conversation we want to have. That's how you can tell out of the gate. So that's a huge application for the veterans to do. And then there's other claims that you can put in too. You can move your tax base for primary residents of victims for wildfire or other natural disaster. You know how we had all of our LNU fires, we had a ton of our fires out here, which we're helping clients now get back into some of their property. People are rebuilding, and they're pulling their stuff out, but they also need that tax base reassessed because their value isn't what it used to be. Right now, they're back down to land.
Lost their home in the fire. How many years after they did it? Use that tax base to rebuild it.
Let's see.
Because even with the AI clients who didn't know, and
Yeah.
I told them, and they just went to the county, they bought their home like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yes, it's huge. It's huge. Let's see. 2 years, 2 years. The replacement primary residence must be purchased or newly constructed within 2 years of the sale of the original primary residence. 2 years. So that's another big one, you know, if you guys are out there trying to market in country property or trying to get some of these lands, some of that vacant land, you know, bought, and I just got done doing one. They subdivided 4 lots. So now there's gonna be some lots out there for sale. But this would, you know, be some kind of that situation that you might want to look into. It might be beneficial for your clients. Or this is a way to actually put your name out there and give clients that have decided to stay, or their house, you know, didn't burn down, or maybe their neighbors did, and they don't even know about it. Older people don't go online. They're not out there searching and trying to figure out all these things. And if you don't know, you just don't know. So this would be a good marketing tool to just at least put those out there, put it in your mailers so that people are aware as people talk. The county also has another reassessment for exclusions for transfers between parent and child and grandparent and grandchild, which is a big deal. The county has switched things up. They used to be able to you know, if you're in a position where you're a grandparent and you want to add your daughter to, your daughter wants to inherit that property, but keep the same tax base. Don't we all want that? You know, we all want to keep the chip for taxes. Well, the county was doing it before, no problem. They were totally doing it. And then they changed their application up a couple years ago, and it's on a case by case. It is still on a case by case, but they switched it after February of 2021. So these are the new applications for it. But this is a big deal. So, you know, if you've got family members and this, you know, you'll know within your family, some people got this property and, you know, granddad's going to take it over, or maybe the parents are going to take it over and you want to keep that same tax base. These are the applications to do so. So this gives you the knowledge to be able to apply for that, to call the county and see if you can't maybe qualify. Maybe you didn't think you could qualify, but maybe you can now because you get to keep grandma's tax base. So those are
the transaction. You could do it even like in your parent property.
Well, if you can do it if you apply and you qualify, but it's by all means, I would be, you know, give them the application and see if they do. It's just it's a way to save money. It's a way to make, so a lot of people make moves that they probably thought they couldn't do before, but the county offers these. So by all means, it would behoove you. If you guys don't have Solano County Tax Collector website on your browser, you should. Every property, if I was even fathoming to look at a property, the minute you guys call me for a net sheet or if you need anything, it's the first thing I click on and look at. I want to know how the taxes are assessed. I want to know if there's a ton of special assessments. I'm looking for PACE or HERO programs, but right there at your fingertips are all these applications and, you know, all of their forms that you guys can use. And that brings me to a supplemental. So I'll talk about that real quick. Yeah.
So, I don't think it's I have to find out if there's a property with the tax base, but I bought my mother-in-law's house, my husband and I bought her house, bought it for $500,000. Bought it for $300,000, and my taxes are, I think, $1,000.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you wanted that.
so I did, no, because I know I did this.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
the whole thing, because my husband was a son, and I
Yep.
just.
You can even do it for stepchildren. It doesn't have to be,
Yeah,
they
so
actually
I'll-
ask you, they'll say, are you original or a stepchild? They'll actually, yeah, it's huge. Which is huge, you know, and sometimes you may want to make moves before you do this. So look at your situation, call your escrow officer, get educated, because we come across these things all the time, you know, and call your assessor, see what they say, hear it out of the horse's mouth. I love to do that because I love to have a backup of what I'm going off of.
And that money adds up. And the point of us doing classes like this is so that you can take this knowledge and go back and give it to your clients. Because by the end of the day, when you can go back to your client and say, hey, I'm saving you $1,000 per month. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah.
What do you say?
I was wondering, does it go like 2 ways? Like, say, for example, somebody wants to, you know, have their child inherit their house, and that's in their primary residence. But it's the end of 55. They keep that, but then also buy another house.
No, the county keeps when they say your primary residence, and if you notice, when you fill out your.
That person would move them, get a different primary residence. This house would now be their child.
Oh, yeah, after the grant was approved? Yeah, I can go do that. I
Okay,
can go do that.
Okay.
Mhm. And if you guys are aware, anytime you close escrow, the county after that is sending out what's called a homeowner's claim exemption application. Do you guys know what that is? You aware? Okay, so if you're not, it's a big deal. And I tell every buyer this. The bottom line is after we close escrow, you guys, you're gonna be getting this homeowner's claim application from Solano County Tax Assessor Charles Lomeli. The minute you see this application, looks somewhat just like this, one piece of paper. It's asking your buyers 3 questions. When did you close escrow? Is this your primary residence? What is your social security number? And a lot of them are like, oh, whose do I put? Mine or his, or what do I put? It doesn't matter. Just put one. Don't put when you moved into the house, because maybe you did rehab and all that. You want your assessment from the day you close escrow. So you're going to put the day you close escrow in here. And I tell my clients, do not mess around. When you see this, immediately drop what you're doing, fill out your 3 little questions and mail it back. Don't marinate on this form, because now 2 years later, since the county finally has your paperwork in front of them, if your client bought that house for 700 and or just 707,000, let's just say they bought it for 707. The county is going to tax them based on that sales price at 707,000. However, here's another caveat. When they're filling out their escrow paperwork, if they wrote on the preliminary change of ownership, which every buyer will sign, it asks them, what condition do you feel the property is in right now? Glad you're listening. Because it'll say good, average, fair, or poor. And a lot of people are so excited, they just want to put good, right? And I tell people, tell me, what is your answer? And then I'll say, I'll tell you what to say. I want to know how they feel. I want them to feel good about what they're doing right now. But I don't want to put good, because if I put good, the county's going to go, oh yeah, well, instead of 707, maybe we feel it's at 717. And they're going to tax them at what they feel a good value is. And your taxes will be even higher than what we were already estimating for. That happens, black and white. So just know that you don't want to put good. I don't care if it's brand new construction. I'm going to put average. But if it's not all that and needs a lot of work, I'm going to put fair. I'm not going to put poor unless I'm triggering that county to come view my property and do a drive-by. So that's what happens when you put poor. That gives them the indication, maybe there's some construction going on, maybe we need to pay attention. So I put average. Now, what that does is once that application gets sent in, instead of the county assessing you at 707,000, they're going to take $7,000 off of that assessment and only tax you at 700,000. And I'll tell my clients, so you would rather do that stay at 700 and creeping up your 2% every year. And it's a little even over 2% this time now. I used to say 1.5 to 2, but now we're going over 2%. So I'll tell them, make sure that you turn this in. Otherwise, you're going to start at 707 creeping up. If you turn this in, you'll start at 700,000 and then creeping up. It's going to take you some time to get there. Does that make sense? So that's what starts off the county now recognizing and actually looking at your buyer's paperwork. So when I'm doing that, after that happens, literally that next month, the county will go, okay, now you're there. I'm going to hit you with a supplemental tax bill. Bam, here you go, buyer. Here's your new supplemental. And some buyers are like, oh, this is impounded with my payment. I don't need to worry about this. They don't even know about it. But if you're on my desk, if you do business with me, you will know about your supplemental.
So I tell people about supplemental because it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
And I'm just like, who in the real estate industry, who is kind of responsible for that?
Charles Lomeli, Solano County Tax Assessor.
So people, buyers don't know unless we tell them.
Unless you guys are educated. And, in every field, we have to do our fiduciary duty to get knowledge, to gain wisdom. You are as good as what you are. If you don't take the time to take classes and take the time to dig deep into what your business is, that's going to be how your business does. To me, right, we do business. You saw me here and there, but maybe you give me a deal because I will be on my game when it comes to your supplemental. And that's how it is. You got to stand out. You literally have to stand out. And if you don't know what a supplemental, do you guys all know what a supplemental is? All of you? Okay. So if you don't know, the bottom line is the county reassesses the taxes. So if your buyer bought it 700,000, but the seller had purchased at 400,000, the county is going to reassess the buyer the $300,000 difference in between, or whatever the difference in between is. A lot of them, people, that was the first buyer or second owner, or your new construction. New construction's huge. and they are having you sign a disclosure that says supplemental. Escrow companies are having you sign a disclosure that says supplemental, but whether they're explaining it to you is another story. So on new construction, it's huge because the county is assessing it on land, right? It's only dirt. It's dirt. It was assessed at $23,000. Now my house just closed for $700,000. So that's $650,000 difference is what they're taxed on. And I tell you this because people, I've done it my whole career, but especially now, people are having a hard time squeaking in the door, as you know. I mean, mortgages are $4,500, $6,500 a month, right? That's just the average. So when you say, oh, here's an $8,000 tax bill, a $10,000 supplemental bill, you know, where does this come from? So I try to educate my clients, my agents, whoever's on my team, that this is coming your way, buyer. And I do email my agents. I don't email it directly to the clients because I don't know what their temperature is. Everybody's got a temperature. I don't know. I don't know if they're barely squeaking in and can barely afford it. You guys are doing inspections. They're going to fly off the handle once they see this. By all means, it's reality. But you guys know the temperature. And I'm also giving you an opportunity to educate your clients. This is a tool that you can stand out before anybody else does, because a lot of agents are talking about it because they don't even understand it. So if you're sharing this with your clients, it will, to me, show you how well-rounded you are. And if you're viewing me right now, you know, and it shows that you come with a lot more knowledge than the rest. And your team, it's all about your team. It's whoever your team is who's representing you as a whole, because it's your name on the line. It's your name on the contract. So I like to educate my clients, and not only do I do that, though, I'll send it to the agent, but I'll print that email out. I'll put my supplemental thing behind it in their loan documents and their escrow papers, and I will have them read and approve it as they do their signing, and I'll go over it like I am here with you. I explain it to them in detail of what's coming so that they know to be prepared for it. They know what to put on their P4. They know to set the money aside. And let's just say their supplemental $6,000. They take that amount of $6,000, divide it into 2 installments, and they give you 90 days to pay each of those halves. So they do give you time, but it's a great tool to say, hey, buyers, we're closing today. I know the county's 2 years behind, so I better check in with my buyers in a year, check on their home warranty, see how things are going, check in with them close to about 21 months and say, hey, just want to remind you that supplemental bill's coming, your homeowner's exemption's coming. And I tell the clients, when you see that homeowner's exemption application in the mail, the next month is your supplemental bill. So did you get your homeowner's exemption application yet? Be on the lookout, make sure you're saving your money, and also put that bill in your tax folder. It's a write-off. So that's a huge write-off for buyers. If they get to write it off 2 years later, they're like, oh my God, I have something good to add to my pot this year. So, you know, let them know, put that in your tax folder, because that's not automatically 1099 with their interest statement with the lender, because they're not paying it. They are.
NHC have like formula for the supplemental. I can't remember what NHC is.
One of them does.
Yeah.
Yep, they do. I haven't done their tools. I do it by hand. I literally do it old school by math. I do it by hand. And I estimate over the under. I'm all about estimating over the under. If I told you your closing costs were going to be 30 grand, when you come in to see me, it's going to be around 28 or 27. So I prep them over the under as well. I want them to be prepared for it. I want them to be ready for it. And they're going to be happy when they get the bill. They're going to have some cushion in there. So that's my spiel about supplementals, you guys. So thank you for listening. Any questions before I move on? No? Okay.
We have about 9 minutes to
Okay.
cover title.
Okay.
We wanted to do a
So
quick
I wanted to
like,
just tell you
right
guys about title, and you know, when you're opening escrow, to me, I would think that that's a big deal for you. You've got a contract, you're ready to play ball, you're ready to get a paycheck. And when it comes to title, just so you know what we're doing when you're opening that escrow, is we're immediately digging down that property address to find out who's the original owner, who actually has the right to sell it. And you guys, there's so much fraud out there right now. It's unbelievable. You would be surprised. So it's our antennas are up like you would not believe, because we have so much fraud going on. Well, all we do is move money, so they're after us every single day. But on another note, they're after you. They're after all of us. We have a ton of sellers that are really not selling their properties, but people are pretending that they are the seller and they are trying to sell their property. We are hearing about it daily. So if you are doing business with us, you will, just so you know, we will be emailing that seller, not on the contact information you've given them. We're going to go down deep and we're going to figure out their contact information, And we're gonna reach out to them. We're gonna say, hey, this is a transactional letter. We want you to know that if you're doing business, we are happy to do business with you, but we want you to know we've got an open transaction. If you're not aware, please let me know. I couldn't tell you how many phone calls we were getting that they are not selling, but yet both. It's both. At first it was land, homes now.
Are they don't have agents?
They did have agents. That's how we got it. That's how we got it. So they're reaching out to you guys, and you want to do your due diligence. You want to make sure that you're dealing with the right players. So I bring that up because there's so much fraud. If you guys have an intuition, listen to it. If this seller is not giving you the skinny, they're not listening to you, that's a red flag, right? They're coming to you because you hold that license. You know the knowledge. You're telling them what to do, but if they're not listening, red flag. They don't want to give you this person, or they don't have time to talk, red flag. People are doing business. They're ready to talk. They're ready to negotiate. They're ready to figure out what they have to do to get this task done, right? So when they're not, red flag. Pay attention to your emails, you guys, when it comes to title. So we're immediately going to be looking at the title and find out who is the actual owner here, who has the right to sell this property. And if you're dealing with the kids or somebody else that's not really the seller because they're in a care home, pay attention. Pay attention. We're going to want to know, hey, we need a copy of that living trust. We want to make sure, oh, well, they just have a power of attorney. We have somebody that just has a power of attorney. Just so you guys know, we don't just roll with power of attorney because somebody said to do so. We must validate it and do our due diligence. And a living trust will tell you whether they will allow a power of attorney or not. And a lot of trusts will allow a power of attorney up to a certain time. And that means maybe until they're incapacitated and can't handle it for themselves, but then it switches gears. Power of attorney is now void, and they want a whole successor trustee brought into the game to make sure that they're doing exactly what that trust wanted them to do. And as a title company, your neutral third party, we are saying, hey, we need that title or that trust so we can abide by their original wishes. And we are validating to make sure that we've got the right players, that we have the right people that are signing. So make sure that when you're dealing with somebody that's passed or cannot sign for themselves, that's an immediate red flag. Why can't they sign for themselves? Well, mom, I just heard this one the other day. Well, mom just has, it hurts her hand. She's got a lot of signing. And I'm like, can she sign? Yeah, then she needs to sign, period. If she can sign, by all means. So I can go to the grocery store and buy my groceries. I'm going to go get my groceries. Then she can sign. Well, how many pages? Maybe 200. Are you kidding me? Well, that's a lot. It's a lot to buy. And why I say this is if we end up in court, are we saying, well, we relied upon this power of attorney. Mom didn't even know that he was buying his house. You want to do things to make your clients feel good and be happy. And I'm a yes man. Trust me, I am creative. I will figure out a way until I have to tell you no. But those are red flags. Those are things that you need to dig in on. You want to ask, why the power of attorney? Why are we not signing for sales? Especially if you take in a listing and you didn't even have that original seller sign your listing, lawsuit. Think that. The judge may say, hey, did they even sign that listing agreement? No, well, we had a power of attorney. Did they even have knowledge? She could say, I didn't have knowledge. I don't remember that. So you want your true players, whoever's on that agreement, listing agreement, I don't care if there's 3 or 4, all 4 should have signed it. Just like, Bree with the home warranty. People are sue happy. All they want to do is sue. They're looking for an easy out, easy money. And it's your job and our job to make sure we keep us out of court. So when it comes to title, that's what we're doing. We're making sure that we're doing our due diligence, checking title, that we are paying off any mortgages that are there. A lot of times we say, hey, I need a wet authorization. People get bothered. You're going to bother me for a wet signature. Does my client really need? Yeah, I really need a wet signature because of fraud. You know how easy it is to doctor up a DocuSign. I can have that in 2 minutes and any one of your guys' names. A real signature is telling the lender they're ready to do business. And a lot of times if you're dealing with a reverse mortgage or a freedom mortgage, they won't accept anything but a live signature because they want to know that person's still alive. The minute they get wind that they're not alive and it's a reverse on that house, they're going to try to take over. So that's a little spiel I can give you guys about title. And work with me. I call you on the title reports. I let you know this is what I see. This is what it takes to get our paychecks, you guys, and this is what I've got done so far. And I'll let you know when I'm ready to roll. But it's important for you to check your title. It's your paycheck. Make sure that you're looking at the vesting of who's on title. Make sure that you're looking there to see if they got a bunch of special assessments. you know, here, maybe your buyer qualified at a 44% debt to income. Maybe now these assessments are gonna put your buyer at 50%. And maybe now you gotta get, you know, now you weren't aware that you're in a flood zone, but now you're in an X flood zone, and all of this work was for nothing. So it would behoove you to pay attention to your title. Your title reports will break down these special assessments. It'll tell you who's on title. Also, if you've got country property with easements, ask for a plotted easement. If you're with me, I automatically get them because I want your clients to know. I don't want to come back and suing us and say, I didn't know where the roadway was. I didn't know where the gas line was. I didn't know that I had to maintenance the fence over here. So if you're dealing with country property, you really want to, I would be printing out every exception on that title report, every easement, maybe reading and approving it. I would leave no gaps in between, you know? So that's a little bit about I could share. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know it's already been an hour. Do you guys have any last questions for me?
You have a lot of information. I was just wondering, Sarah knows I was getting ready to do, a mailer in my neighborhood, just to have a lot of older people. I was gonna talk about Prop 19, and I posted something, and somebody got on my comments, like, very political about it, and I got scared. And so.
Don't be scared. Well, you know, I don't get involved in politics.
So it's so funny. She texted me and she sent me the screenshot, and it was just somebody that was clearly opposed from Prop 19.
Yeah, and I
Really
really
wanna
want
vote
to
against it.
By sending this out, is this how other people feel? So I got scared and I hit her comments, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna come to this class and then decide whether or not to do
Yeah.
it. It's all ready to go.
Why not share it with people? People, you know, those three things I just don't get into because it's a dead end, you know, but I think when you have the knowledge, pick up the phone, call the county assessor. We get it reiterated about what I said, and then you can feel more confident. That's what I do. If I gotta call the IRS, I don't wanna hear all this. I wanna hear it out of the horse's mouth. I wanna know exactly what I'm talking is legit and is right.
Yeah.
So that's,
Do you remember what she said again, Kristen?
I don't, and it was very political. I just don't.
Yeah, well, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the bottom line is, it's approved, it's out there,
Okay.
and it's accessible. It's on the goddamn county's website. You know, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
To each his own, to each his own, you know. Yes.
One thing I was gonna ask her, so I do JCP and she also was trying to find a report, but I don't have one.
I think you might do that one.
It is, yeah, so I do, when you get it pulled, there's a link in the actual report that you can then, as long as we have the assessed value, you can type it in supplemental. I
Yeah.
was trying to find one, because I know I had one, but.
It
you want me to
is,
run
that's
it
what
down?
I thought it was yours, yeah.
So I used to use this.
Yeah, I do JCP also, but home warranty consumes my life most of the times, because I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I do. I'm so busy with home warranty, but yeah, we do, but it's a certain property. Yeah, I think it's important.
I do have it, Kristen.
Oh, yeah, okay, here you go.
She did have somebody comment saying, now share about the deduction in Prop 19, that made a bigger death tax burden. We have got to get this administration to the curb.
So, but, it's people like that I want to get on the board. I feel that in our county now, before, taxes, and you guys can probably attest to this, that taxes used to be at 1.25%. The 1% was for a dwelling, and we had a quarter for the special assessments. You guys now, they're letting these builders in here, they're getting away with murder. I feel like they're coming into your town and they are building all these new subdivisions and not putting their skin in the game like they should be. We should be getting better streets, we should be getting schools, they should be not assessing and pushing all these special assessments onto these parcels. They should be sucking it up and taking that on. But I missed the boat this year. I was gonna try to get on the committee and I just had too much going on, but next year we'll see. But I thought I'm gonna get on that damn board and I'm gonna make a difference.
Well, I was at Meritage.
You know that?
No, here.
Oh.
Out, legal plan.
Oh, the
He was saying. Yeah, the new builds.
Yes, yes.
Or Friday Road. He was saying closer to 1.7, 1.8.
Yeah.
So where do we find what those assessments are? Definitely Melrose, but.
Yeah. Well, if they close anything, we can pull it off of that. Yeah, they've already got this, the assessments are there, pull an APN.
Yeah.
When into the APN.
I think it does show up.
Yeah.
You can see the breakdown.
Sometimes on new builds, it's not always there. So sometimes you have to take it and divide it by all those parcels to figure it out. But if there's parcels out and something's closed, we can definitely get it. But even my daughter, she bought, new homes in Dixon a couple of years ago. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're at 1.8. No, we're at 2.2, you know? And-
Wow. Well, so what is that? What is the board or?
Oh, on the assessors. Actually, no, it was the planning committee. Was it
Yeah, the
planning?
back of the planning.
The planning commission.
Yes,
I see, yeah, because I'm like, what's not right?
it
There's-
isn't
there's some
right.
seats coming up.
I know, and I want to get involved because
Should be good.
I feel like nobody's fighting for us anymore. And
Right.
yeah, and it's so struggling for your buyers to qualify. You know, 1.25 was big, but now you could be paying 1,200 just to the Tennessee Facility District, along with 395 for this, and for, you know, and along with that, which you think your buyer's there, but that would behoove you guys to, before you're showing that buyer that property, pull that tax bill, make sure it fits within their debt to income, and you're not wasting your time, but then educate them that why you didn't, because they're gonna wonder why you didn't show it to them. And then tell them, this is why, because the taxes are here. We need the sales price to come down to this to be able to play ball.
She was, every time we saw, what's the tax income? There was unlimited income.
Yeah.
They were transferring their taxes, buying the bill, and they're like, no, we don't even want to see it. If it was like, whatever, if it was over the 1.7 was even high, it's like, we don't even want to see it.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It's gonna be higher than your house here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why that whole California Forever project is such a controversial topic, and the person that, you know, is representing that project is really trying to like get in front of realtors and stuff like that. But just keep in mind that if California Forever does happen, that is going to be a part of our county, and that will impact for people. So that's another thing to think about.
Founder, and I think the founder is gonna be at Ole Miss Council event tomorrow. I don't know if you know the founder, he is, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what he has to say.
But it's good to go. It's good to
Yeah.
go learn and ask him those questions. Yeah.
Do you have his skin in the game? I'm gonna ask him that. I'm gonna test it.
Yes.
It is.
Wish me luck on getting on the committee next year. Okay, you guys, well, I don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you for your time today and listening to us. Thank you, Bree, for the lunch. We really appreciate you. And I hope to see one of you on a deal. I hope to see something out of you. But just know, call me, email me if you have questions, even if it's not my escrow. Feel free to ask. I'm happy to help. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.